Good morning, afternoon, evening, everybody. Thank you very much for joining this Innovation for Electrification webinar. We are getting quite a lot of attention and participants dialing in, so let's give it up to 1 minute to kick off. Thank you very much. So, hi everybody, once again, good morning, afternoon and evening. Bienvenue à toutes et à tous to this webinar. We are today in the first edition of the Innovation for Electrification webinar series in 2024. So it's very late in the day, but still Happy New Year to those that we have not yet spoken to this year. We are really excited about today's topic about empowering industry and enabling the productive use with distributed renewables. Indeed, it's a topic that's close to our heart. And of course, we are focused on energy access, household, SME electrification. We already have done a lot of activity on productive use, and now it's essentially taking the logical next step is to also power up more and more the industry and find that synergy really between these different market segments. And we all hear about CNI and other such segments to really see, okay, can we not scale up all of these segments by interconnecting them and thereby giving a lot more opportunity and investment attractability to some of these projects that our members are developing out in all the different markets. So that's a number of the items that you will hear today. This I4E webinar series is really created for the benefit of our companies, of our members, to showcase concretely what are their products, their services, as well as their approaches on the topic at hand. And so here we have the agenda of today. You see there already a number of serious companies, and we have first an industry announcement coming from Messe Augsburg. You have our new leading member ComAp, together with other leading member ENGIE that is there, EMPO-NI, GadgetroniX, Lighthouse, Aptech and BM Solutions. You see, we've concocted, I hope, a very interesting program and set of speakers for you from different geographies and technologies. And so before we move on to the next speaker, please note that the session will be recorded and is being live streamed right now on LinkedIn as well. And we will make, of course, this presentation as well as the recording available, as always, on our website. As panelists, as participants, if you would have any questions or comments, there is the Q&A function that you can use with the name of the speaker that you would like to address. So briefly about ARE, as you see on the screen, and if you're dialing in, I guess you already know us, but we are the Global Business Association for the Distributed Renewable Energy Industry, and we focus, of course, on energy access and deploying renewable equipment in emerging markets. Today, we have more than 200 companies in the 3 continents of the Southern Hemisphere with 55 plus countries covered. And you see there on the map in green, the let's say, geographical heavyweight regions represented in our membership. I also always am proud to stress that with ARE, I think our setup is quite interesting because we are a big tent in the organization, meaning we have solar, wind, hydro, bioenergy, and also all the green technologies for generation, the inverters, the project developers, the investors. So really the idea is to have that full service, if you will, Uber Eats of energy access as GD7, and that is represented in the membership. So a big thank you to all of you that are already members and dialing into this call. And of course, to those that are still on the verge, you are very welcome to come in and enjoy the services that you see on the screen as well. Now from business development to policy to trainings, all of these different things that we develop to advance the business. Yeah, next slide. Yeah, well, that's it for me then. Thank you so much for dialing in once again. And now I'm happy to pass over to my colleague Deepak Mohapatra. Moving forward, if you are keen on pure empowering industries and say similar topics, let us know, work with us, and so we can indeed build that critical mass moving forward. Over to you, Deepak. Thank you very much.
Thank you, David. Good afternoon, everyone, from my side, and warm welcome to the first edition of Innovation for Electrification webinar showcase webinar series. My name is Deepak Mohapatra, Senior Officer, Business and Market Development, and I will be your facilitator for this edition. So please bear with me. Can we move to the next slide, please? I have the pleasure to announce Ms. Nadja Katnani, Project Manager from Messe Augsburg, to do the industry announcement. Dear speakers, please note that all of you will have 8 minutes for your speaking intervention, and please be aware of this sign that I will be flagging at 7.5 minutes, so that you are interrupted visually, that you have to wrap up. So let's please stick to the time so that we can keep up with this agenda and liberate time for question and answers from the audience. So Nadja, the floor is all yours. Please unmute yourself, turn your camera on, and let's begin. Thank you.
So, hello everybody, good afternoon also from my side. Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear. Go on, please.
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much for Deepak and David to be possible to have the opportunity today to present you our project, which we have been doing together with ARE as our industry and conference partner. So I would like to introduce you our event Off-Grid Expo and Conference. I can't. Yes, sorry. Yes, it's our event
Nadja,
in Augsburg, Germany.
Nadja, I'm sorry, Nadja, if I can interrupt. When you need to move the slides, you can just say next slide and it will move automatically. We are controlling the slide. Okay?
Yes. Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay.
So I wanted to give you an overview about this event. Is also relating to productive use issues. So this also fits very well in this webinar of today. And first, I want to invite you all to a short survey we prepared for visitors and exhibitors who have been at the OEC, or the brief name of Off-Grid Expo and Conference, or want to come have been here or want to come soon. So for the next edition. So please use the link we have on this page, and also Deepak will put it in the chat so that you can go directly to this short survey. It will take you only a few moments, but gives us some more input to improve our event concept. So here you can see a picture of participants who have been here in Augsburg at the last edition. It was in December 23. And so we can start now to give you an overview. Please, next slide. The Off-Grid Expo and Conference is a Congress Trade Fair. It's a combination of a conference and an expo in 2 days, where the industries have the possibility to show their latest innovations and products referring to the off-grid sector. It's very practice orientated and gives also a good opportunity for networking and exchanging with projects all over the globe. And we also welcome many visitors and delegations also from African continent, for example, to come here and to exchange here about the self-sufficient solar, wind, and hydropower technologies. It was next slide. Yes, here are some impressions about the different sectors in the event. So you've got the exhibition with about 60 to 70 exhibitors with latest innovations. Also the conference with 2 days with about 6 sessions to specific topics. I will give you an overview of the topics of last year right afterwards. And also the possibility of networking sessions like an after-work party, but also speed dating sessions and other matchmaking opportunities to connect really all participants directly on the venue. We also have a tech day where exhibitors can offer some trained product and service trainings a day ahead. Important for us, of course, is the portfolio of the off-grid sector from the energy production to the energy use. All kind of technologies used here or give the possibility to have independent green energy supply, and also the cross services like financing, education. Also, we've got many universities here and research institutes, but also the cross services and also stakeholders like NGOs and public organizations. We follow the SDG goals 6 and 7 mainly, so for the clean energy and the clean water. And this is very important for us to show the competences we have focused here. It's a niche event for just off-grid with green energies, but we are sure this has a very big market, so we can have the community meeting point here in Augsburg. Next slide. The Off-Grid Expo and Conference is a multi-action concept. As I said before, it's an expo and a conference, and also the networking hotspot. One ticket for the visitors gives the opportunity to see all parts of the event, and to have as many possibilities to meet the community here on the exhibitor and on the participant side. So it's a very interactive platform for all participants. Next slide, please. As I said, the conference program, we have got 6 sessions here in the cooperation with RRE. So last year we had these panels, topics with about 5 to 6 speakers in each panel, experts from all over the globe who joined us here. And as you can see, the 6th panel was best practices on productive use of renewable energy. So we also were related to the topic of the webinar of today. Next slide, please. Here you can see, I had an impression about the stage here where our speakers were there on stage live, but also one speaker could be remotely, so that we have as many speakers as possible for experts from the globe to join us here and to give their speech. So here you can see the participants of this panel of last year. Next slide, please. Of course, it's very important to have many partners and supporters for this, for our event. And so you can see here, get an idea about the partners. Next slide, please. And also here an overview about the exhibitors who have joined the Off-Grid Expo and Conference in the last years. Next slide, please. Augsburg, for those who are not familiar with it, Augsburg is in the south of Germany, 1 hour drive from Munich. It's a very fascinating city, also worth to see. And we've got a very modern venue for the Trade Fair Center. You get here some impressions of the venue and also to see where it's located. Next slide, please. And Augsburg is a very old city. It's more than 2,000 years of history. And we are very proud also to have a UNESCO World Heritage for the water management. And this is also very worth to see. So you can combine a visit with Off-Grid Expo and Conference, but also a side program, which we can also support you in coordinating it with sightseeing around, or to meet other people of official offices. Just get in contact with us. So I invite you and hope to see you at next Off-Grid and Expo and Conference. The date will be announced soon, so we are still in the planning progress at the moment. Okay, thank you very much for attending, and yes. If you have questions
so much,
later on, I guess. Yes, okay.
Yeah, thank you so much, Nadja, for your industry announcement. Yeah, dear audience, please take note of this activity, which is the end of the year Off-Grid Community Get Together. The Alliance for Rural Electrification is also the industry partner of this event, so we would definitely root for this activity. Thank you, Nadja, for being with us today. We can move over to the next speaker. Nadja, you can go in the background. And may I invite Ms. Diane Domkam, Public Affairs Manager, ENGIE Energy Access, to take us through the presentation on their latest white paper on multi-technology. Diane, the floor is all yours. You got 8 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you, Deepak. Thank you, everyone. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining, and thank you, ARE, for this opportunity to present the work from ENGIE Energy Access. As you said, we have worked on a white paper that will be shortly published in the coming days. And the title of this white paper is Towards Universal Access to Energy, Enabling a Multi-Technology Approach in a Mini-Grid Environment. And again, I want to be mention that I'm sorry you can't see me. Technology problems. So I'll just dive right into it because we don't have too much time. As you can see, based on these numbers, we realistically might not, I would actually say we will not reach universal access to energy by 2030 with the current business models that we have. As you can see, it's projected that more than 500 million people will still lack access to electricity by 2030, which is very much problematic. We only have 6 years to achieve these very ambitious goals. And at ENGIE Energy Access, we strongly believe that innovative solutions are needed if we want to accelerate energy deployment in sub-Saharan Africa. Next slide, please. And therefore, we thought that we strongly need integrated multi-technology approach to achieve SDG 7. And this, firstly, will strongly be will strongly require an impact-driven approach that really focuses on intended impacts, goals, and specific needs of communities served. As you can see, each represented solutions going from national grid extension, mini grid, solar business systems, solar home systems will play a really critical role in addressing the energy needs and the situation in each of these communities. So the multi-technology approach really will provide energy based on community needs, consumption, density, and obviously cost. So we strongly believe that this is one of the innovation that will help us move forward in achieving SDG 7. Next slide, please. So obviously we decided to focus on mini-grid. Mini-grid, why? Because we think that it plays a crucial role in accelerated access to clean, affordable energy. However, we need to emphasize that at the current pace of mini-grid development, the 2030 goals again would not be met. As you can see, only 2,600 mini-grids were built between 2010 and 2021. And out of these 2,600, some of them are probably not viable 100%. So, and if we see the projection that SMAP is doing for 2030, we would need 160,000 mini-grids to electrify 380 million people in sub-Saharan Africa. Based on what we're doing now, only 12,000 might be, we might be able to reach 12,000 by 2030. So again, a point that really shows that we need innovation. We need maybe to change the way the business is done currently if we want to achieve our goals. Next slide, please. So, so the challenges here, again, the conclusion that we came up to is that the multi-technology approach has not successfully been implemented. I have to remind that this is not a new concept. This is not a concept that was, created by ENGIE Energy Access. I believe most of you have probably heard of this. This is something that has been talked about, written about previously, but we think that until now it has been very theoretical and not practical. So in reality, we haven't seen it in the markets in which we operate. At the aggregate level, still grid and SHS are usually getting more traction than mini grids and other off-grid solutions. And at the site and community level, we're lagging these synergies across technologies. Although I have to mention that a lot of governments in Africa have implemented in their energy plans the idea of having several technologies, but we don't have those synergies of multi-technology approach in those markets, which is a big challenge. Next slide, please. So in this respect, we decided, we've came up with a way forward that we believe with clear solution to enable the multi-technology approach in a mini-grid environment. The idea here is really having practical, way forward that we can implement in the short term. This is divided into five sections. The first one comes with the planning stage. We believe that the multi-technology approach to support that technical assessment that is in the form of geospatial, usually analysis, is not enough. It should be complemented with institutional and financial assessments, including structured risk allocation plan. Because again, we need more data to be able to have viable integrated projects. At the tendering level, there's a need really to clearly define communities, as I mentioned earlier in my presentation, to define really desired impact objectives and specific requirements that will be addressed by, again, a synergies of various technologies. What we've seen thus far, one project, one technology, would not necessarily be working in the long run. So we think that bringing in technologies, SHS, mini grids, SBS, and others in a given project in a given community will serve better the clients that we have. At the funding level, again, if we think about multi-technology approach, we think that a pool of funders on particular integrated project is important. This obviously will allow funders to stick to their preferred areas of expertise while still supporting very interesting projects. Here, it would be really important because it will facilitate, the pooling of resources, for instance, risk sharing, allow large-scale projects as well. At the engagement level, again, we think about inclusiveness. We believe that in building these projects, we need all stakeholders, to be involved, including the private sector, to play a really large part, an important part in building this project. And the last but not least way forward that we thought about was the new business models, and we thought about the energy as a service model that we believe should be offered on all technologies, because again, we want to try and remove the burden of owning and maintaining complex energy systems. So this is really, in a summary, the way forward that we are advocating for. Next slide, please. So here you have really just an idea of what the ENGIE Energy Access vision for the electrified rural community of the future. As you can see, you have SBS, you have ACHS, you have mini-grid in a given community. So this is possible. The idea now is to actually make it a reality. And I think as an industry, we can do it all together. Thank you very much. I hope I wasn't too long. I'll be happy to answer any of your questions. And thank you again.
Thank you so much, Diane. Can we move over to the next slide, please? Yes, so from this point onwards, we will dive deep into the speaker interventions, like I mentioned. Dear audience, please make sure if you have questions to use the question answer function on GoToWebinar and ask your questions. And in your question, please address the speaker that you're asking the questions to so that we can redirect those questions to them during the panel discussion. So thank you, Chris. Welcome. Over to you for your presentation. You've got 8 minutes.
Thank you, Deepak. And just a quick thank you for the invitation and the opportunity to be able to speak today. So to change it up a little bit, let's look at why we're investing in hybrid microgrids and these new energy sources. And I think what makes this a little bit easier to consume is if we look at it from 3 different perspectives or lenses. Before we move on to this, I'll just do a quick introduction of myself. I'm Chris Pye. I'm the segment manager for hybrid microgrids with ComAp, which is a technology business based in Europe. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, so why investing in hybrid microgrids? Why does it make sense globally? Well, this is a significant growth market for the industry. For the next 8 to 10 years, we're expecting annual CAGR somewhere between 10 to 12%, depending on the research source that you use. And I suppose, what are some of the 3 underlying reasons for this, or key reasons that sort of come to mind? Well, the obvious one is rising costs of fuel and energy. So whether that's gas, petrol or diesel, and/or electricity. The next is the desire to decarbonise, reach our emissions targets, and maintain global temperatures to no more than 1.5, or as we're looking at 2 degrees C above industrial levels. And then the next one is basically either increasing or meeting our increasing demand on energy, but also providing access, like Diane, our previous speaker, was mentioning, to regions and territories that have very limited or no access to energy at all. Next slide. So, where is the investment happening? Where is the most rapid growth coming from, or where are these regions? Now, the important part here is that this is a statement about growth. It's not a statement about market size. That's a different question. But when we look at the most rapidly growing regions, we see, and it's kind of a little bit intuitive, that we'll unpack a little bit later, but these three regions, I suppose, that are experiencing the most amount of growth in hybrid microgrid investment will be Southeast Asia or Asia Pacific, Middle East and Africa, and Latin America. Next slide, please. So let's unpack the rationale for the investment. And the first perspective or lens to look at is the commercial one. So I mentioned this earlier. One of the reasons, obviously, is energy prices that continue to rise. In some markets, especially established markets, we've also seen a lack of competition or a reduction in competition from large-scale ownerships or duopolies, I suppose, of energy markets, which has pushed energy prices up as well. Cost effectiveness of renewables is unparamount, really. There is a very quick return on investment, especially when you consider the last point, which is time to market. So when we start talking about things like solar, which is probably the most predominant renewable energy resource that is being scaled up and implemented, one of the reasons why this is happening quite rapidly is because large-scale systems can be deployed in more or less a cookie-cutter approach and not only invested in, but deployed quite rapidly and operational quite rapidly. Next slide, please. The next lens that's worthwhile looking at is from the sustainability perspective. So carbon and methane emission reduction is a key one. But then we also can look at it from a perspective of not just access, but also energy security. So the ability to have reliable power where and when you need it, to have energy of a sufficient quality so that you can maintain your assets without damage, so that you can rely on it for things like industry and farming and these sorts of things. And the last is really ESG. So investment coming from, I suppose, the top end of town, like for example, one example would be financial institutions having policies in play to invest in or invest favourably in projects that are of the renewable nature. And also from this perspective, you could extend it to government policy and legislation as well that's supporting investment in this area. Next slide, please. And the last perspective is basically looking at hybrid microgrids as a solution from a technical perspective. So this could be, in terms of dealing with issues like network transformation, reconfiguration, constraints on grids, so lack of access and bottlenecks in the network. Electrification of the transportation industry is going to be a big one that comes through because the pace and the demand required will considerably stress even the most robust networks. Peak demand exceeding base demand at a rapid rate, and also the requirement to shift energy. So these are all reasons, technical reasons, why we're investing in microgrids or mini grids. Next slide, please. I'm going to briefly talk about, I suppose, the chronology from a technology perspective as to, we talk about innovation. This is the whole purpose of today's webinar. Well, that innovation, I guess, leads to disruption, market disruption. And from a renewables perspective, we've seen this more or less come in at least two waves now, with the third wave coming through, depending on the maturity of the market. The first wave being obviously the introduction of renewables. And this was, I guess, the first phase where we've been able to capture some obvious savings in terms of both carbon reduction, but also fuel costs, and do it quite rapidly and with no sort of major technical complexity. The problem with that first wave was that renewables uncontrolled is quite unstable, which has obviously then led to storage as a solution for this. That storage is then firm these networks, provide the option to be able to shift energy from point of production to point of consumption, and obviously increase the overall resilience. Moving forward in hybrid microgrids and mini grids, we see that optimization will be the next frontier, where obviously getting an improved return on the investment in these assets is the next area where which will drive the next wave of investment and technological advancement. Next slide, please. Now, back to us. As I mentioned, we're a technology business. We specialise in control systems designed specifically for the integration of energy. And when it comes to hybrid microgrids and mini grids, our key or target application categories are on-grid systems, off-grid and isolated systems, and we also do EV charging integration systems. Next slide, please. Here's an example of our product portfolio, and from left to right, we go more or less from our advanced hybrid microgrid site controllers and to our newly released battery storage controller that is just recently been announced. Next slide, please. Okay, and to summarise and finish off, and I suppose that the time just on time. Yep, thank you. We can obviously service or support your hybrid microgrids, not just from a product perspective or technology perspective, but we can also support your projects, whether it's project development support, control system design, grid connection management, system configuration and commissioning, as well as testing. So if you have any questions, I'd be glad to talk to you at the end of the presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chris, for walking us through different perspectives which compelled you to decide on investing in hybrid microgrids. So yeah, thank you, and we will take the questions during the question and answer round. Dear audience, please be advised to ask your question to the speakers using the question and answer function. Moving to the next speaker, please. May I invite Mr. Marco Honsberg, CTO EMPO-NI, to walk us through the presentation. Marco, the floor is all yours, please.
Yeah, thank you very much for the kind invitation here to speak at ARE already the second time. Let me introduce quickly our company and what we have to offer. Here, next slide, please. EMPO-NI off-grid solution is located in the very west part of Germany. Of course, that is not a place where we have lots of sun available throughout the year. So we, of course, have other places that we have in Morocco, for example, to test our units and using the sub-Saharan. Our company here has a visitor center in Düsseldorf, and we are using mainly external services around Düsseldorf here to manufacture our goods. Next slide, please. Now, coming to the portfolio that we have here, we start from the very low power, that is our PV panel integrated battery charger technology. Then we have our core product. This is the solar direct drives. This is a motor drive solution that works from a quantity of panels here. Then we have solutions based on these drives with extended functionality, control functionality, and of course power functionality. These are, for example, here our awarded PV solar oil press, and we have solutions that go in general into the productive use and pumping market. Next slide, please. Well, this is the solution, the integrated panel, integrated charger for panels. You see the standard configuration now. In this, you have a panel, a PV charger that is typically open frame, and you have a battery. The next slide, please. Yeah, but this can be replaced by the solution that we just put inside the junction box of the solar panel, and that makes it a very robust solution because it's environmentally highly protected. So you see the solutions that we deliver are in the Arctic area, as well as in the rainforest, or also in the area of Kuwait. Many solutions have been done. We have lots of custom solutions. We have also ready-made panels, for example, standard 40-watt panels. Yeah, with integrated 12 volts, 24, 36, 48, and whatever we can do. Yeah, lots of things. Next slide, please. Then on top of that, we have also developed a small solution here for the lightning. Yeah, that is a solution that is also very robust for industrial utilization. Next slide, please. But coming more to the products that are really for the power and moving motors, and that is actually what is one of our main topics inside EMPO-NI off-grid solutions. Yeah, we have two ranges of solar direct drives that you connect from a single PV array, yeah, and you drive three-phase motors. That is something that I will explain later. We have developed a whole range of industrial motors, so motors with Stanford or flange, as well as motors for submersible pump solutions. Well, it's not only a drive, it's something that is very specially made with a very wide input voltage range, very dedicated to solar applications. Well, that was a bit quick, but the solution that we have here is, for example, in the small image on the top right side, you see a typical application of our drives. Of course, the optional GSM modem provides this kind of connectivity, because data is power, and you should know where your drive is and what it is doing actually. So kind of a remote monitoring system. So you see a part of the parameters you can access here in this chart, but also a location. We can also have a geolocation, and our drives, for example, when they change the position, they send an automatic message to the sender. That is a kind of simple anti-theft protection that we have built in as a requirement that came from our customers recently. Next slide, please. Then we have solutions based on solar direct drives. Water is a scarce good. Only pumping would not be sufficient in order to protect our earth and to provide sustainable solutions. So we offer here direct drip irrigation with an extension PCB that we can integrate into that, so we can have a direct drip irrigation system. Next slide, please. For example, or in this other case here, we have solutions for irrigation that are tailor-made for small circles of something like 26 meters up to 6 circles of 29 meters in parallel. Very small solutions with an optimized range of PV panels. We can use second-hand panels. That means the old ones that are already have been working in other installations 10 years and now coming at a very low cost. They can have a second life. Our drives are made to also be able to work with such older panels, but of course the latest technology will give you much more margin in case the solar conditions are not really good. Yeah, coming to the next slide, please. Coming to the solutions for the productive use. Well, we have gone deeper here, and we have also developed oil presses. It's a very important thing here, because this brings local businesses. Because typically oil presses are typically involve a lot of transportation from the raw goods to the central place where oil presses are installed, and then back to the villages, where of course the oil cake is needed as a protein-rich nutrition for animals, for example. And of course the oil, this can be produced completely locally. Here it has of course pay as you go, so which means it's no need to own the unit, but to pay for the utilization. So that is of course a feature, pay as you go, that you have in all our drives available. And we have several models. Next slide, please. Yeah, depending on what kind of crops and quantity you need to process. So it's a very important thing in order to reduce the post-harvest loss, because you can process goods locally, yeah, increase the value chain, bring money into the villages, yeah, and that helps to develop everything just right from the beginning. Next slide, please. Then the whole range of the industrial solutions. As I said, on the bottom left side of this image, you see lots of applications, like even fans, of course the oil presses, grains, mills, and these kind of things, you know, that have standard motors. We can supply tailor-made solutions here. That means a motor in conjunction with a drive that can replace such solutions easily, and that can be done locally in Africa and wherever. Thank you. Next slide, please. Then coming to the important solutions here, making cold storage that is again stopping post-harvest loss. We have a complete solution here developed by several drives, because there are compressors, fans that have to work together, and so there's intercommunication between our drives. Now we have done interface, so we can support companies in in making such solutions of cold storage by our technology with only a few other electronics needed. Next slide, please. And last but not least, the heating solutions that we have up to 800, that's coming soon. So it's immediately cooking solutions out of 2 panels only. Yeah, we can do the water boiling on the left side, even with the pump, and also the heating plate for cooking. Last slide, please. And then we're done. That is the whole range from small 305. We have up to 5.5 kilowatt solutions in all kinds of granularity for several applications. Thank you very much, Deepak. Sorry for exceeding a bit my time.
Thank you, Marco. It was an impressive presentation, I would say, perfectly fitting to the topic of the webinar. So thanks a lot. Next speaker, please. Now I have the pleasure to invite Mr. Swaleh Hassan, Strategic Business Development Manager at GadgetroniX. Swaleh, please unmute yourself, turn your camera on, and you got 8 minutes, and please stick to the time.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Swaleh, the Business Development Manager at GadgetroniX. GadgetroniX in Arusha, Tanzania. We're a part of a group of companies that is into renewables, ICT, hospitality, mining, and retail. So who is GadgetroniX? We're a leading distributor established in 2014 for renewable energy products, mostly on the solar energy side. So we do energy, water, security, and surveillance communication equipment as well. We were founded in the technology industry about 10 years ago, and now we are known for distribution, being a consultant, design, and project implementer, basically a solution provider for various clean renewable energy types in Tanzania and across East Africa. We have a team of highly competent employees who are over 60 full-time expert technicians. We have electrical and mechanical engineers on board, and who work in these different solutions. Next slide, please. Our headquarters is in Arusha, Tanzania, and we have branches in Dar es Salaam. We have a warehouse, a big warehouse in Arusha. We have another shop in Giro complex in Arusha. Soon we're opening in Zanzibar. We're hoping by 1st of March to do a soft opening in Zanzibar, and we are operational in Nairobi as a distributor. Next slide, please. Yes. So I will focus only on the energy and water solutions that we provide. So part of energy solutions that we do are off-grid solar or grid tie systems, battery-powered backup systems, solar refrigeration. We do power generators, hybrid systems, and portable power solutions. We have done over 1,000 solar power plants in Tanzania with over 6 megawatts and 523 million kilowatt hours of electricity generated since 2014. And we've installed more than 1 megawatt hour of battery storage in Tanzania. Yeah. Next slide, please. Water solutions, we do solar water pumping. Recently got into electric water pumping as well due to high demand. We do hybrid of solar and grid connected or power generator connected systems. We do solar water heating, water filtration and treatment systems for off-grid solutions, and solar water dispensing for communities as well. We've installed more than 600 water pumps in Tanzania and over 400 solar water dispensers in different communities, over 2,000 solar water heaters, and more than 10 water filtration projects which we started recently. Yeah, next slide, please. Yeah, so we're going to showcase some of the projects that we've done here in Tanzania. So we have Kubu Kubu Tented Lodge, which is an off-grid lodge based in Serengeti. And this is one of our biggest clients, Tanganyika Wilderness Camps, who are in the hospitality industry. And basically, the system is a battery storage or energy storage system. It's an off-grid system. We remotely monitor all our systems from our clients, and it's a 212 kilowatt peak system with 400 kilowatt hour of battery storage. Cocoon is a Korean development agency. They're working with Tanzania Wildlife Research, which is TAWIRI, and we've installed 2 systems for their offices and their staff in Serengeti. So basically, all wildlife research is done and communicated worldwide through this center, which is powered by renewable energy. Power backup system. We have a company called Hanspol Automex, who are into fabrication and retrofit of safari vehicles, and we've done a 40 kilowatt hour system for them with a 110 kVA hybrid inverter. Next slide, please. Some of our water projects. This is Marumbi Residence Resort in Zanzibar. We've done more than 17 solar water heaters of 300 liters each. And we do a lot of centralized systems for the hotels and lodges and hospitals in Tanzania. This is one of the community projects that we've done called Gawidu Village in Manyara region in Tanzania. A community of more than 400 people are served with this water. Of course, we've done for bigger communities of more than 1,000 people, more than 300 families, some of them. And then we have Lahia Tented Lodge in Serengeti, where we've given them solar water heating solutions. We've given them solar water pumping solutions. They have about 5 pumps, where one of them is dedicated only for wildlife drinking or animals drinking water. Next slide, please. Yeah, so these are some of the partners that we work with. At GadgetroniX, we have 2 business models, where one, we're a distributor of globally renowned solutions providers like Fronius, Lawrence, AES, ATES, and the likes. And second business model is we're a turnkey solutions provider, where you come to us and we listen to your needs and give you solutions. So we're a one-stop solutions provider because part of our communication portfolio is we're an internet service provider. So we also do security systems, and our sister company is into the ICT industry. So basically, when you come to us, whether it's a lodge, a hospital, a finance facility, we come up as a team and give you a turnkey solution. Next slide, please. Yeah, these are some of the companies that we work with in terms of clientele. So we have a lot of local companies like Miracle Experience, Pepsi, some of the multinationals, Pepsi, DHL, and the likes, and a lot of other multinational and regional companies and NGOs and government that we work with. Yeah, next slide. Yeah, those are our contacts. You can get in touch anytime. We are available 24/7 to sort your needs out. Thank you.
Thank you, Sir Swaleh, for your wonderful presentation. Moving on to the next speaker, and while we do so, dear audience, please do not hesitate to ask your questions using the question answer function so that we can take them during the question answer round. Thank you so much. May I invite Mr. Marcelino Silveira, Managing Director, Lighthouse Africa Investments. Marcelino, the floor is all yours. Swaleh, you can go back in the background, please. And the floor is all yours, Mr. Marcelino. You got 8 minutes. Thank you. Can you please unmute yourself as you are speaking?
Good afternoon. Good afternoon,
Yes,
everyone. Is it fine?
Yes, it's working. Please go on.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Marcelino Silveira. I'm the Managing Director of Lighthouse Africa Investment, based in Swaziland. But also we are present in South Africa with a company with the same name. Our company deals mostly with renewable energy, registered in 2020. The first objective of registration of this company was to participate in the first tender of 40 megawatts that the Eswatini government has launched for the independent power producer to enter. And then the COVID came in, and then everything was messed up. And then we were forced to abandon the projects. And then we continue pursuing the objective of bringing in solar projects into the rural area and also some business community around Swaziland. So we see a great opportunity in renewable energy as we mitigate the climate change for the best of the world. So I'm here to present mostly biomass and biochar project. So we can move to the next slide, please, because what I've seen in the world in general is that most of the technologies now, most of the companies registered, there are so massive number of them, and they are more concentrated in renewable in solar system. And we are coming in now to bring a new concept, which is called biomass, and to see if we can also target other type of technologies for renewable energy. Next slide, please. Our work is to bring the renewable energy to the world, and we do feasibility studies, we do consulting service, energy auditing, and we also do operation and maintenance for new plants across southern region of Africa. And we are currently seeking a partnership with more other companies who want to join us, especially for the new technology that we are trying to bring into the country. Next slide, please. This is our main objective currently, is to come up with a technology that can work perfectly in our region. This is because the biomass biochar concept, it needs the use of vegetable, and in Africa we have so many plantation of eucalyptus and pine trees, sugar fields, and this is the feedstock that the system will use. So we thought it could be an ideal to bring this technology. My partner company is based in Europe, Austria. They are already running several companies in Europe of biomass biochar. Let me just give you a brief explanation for those who are not aware of what is biomass. Biochar is created by heating biomass in oxygen free of chamber in a process called pyrolysis. Biochar or green coal is a type of sustainable charcoal. Green coal is created from the sustainable biomass resource, such as waste yard, trimming agricultural refuse, leaf, grass, and manure. Biochar or green coal can be used as a carbon sink, meaning biochar sequesters carbon in the coal, which can then be buried, preventing the release of CO2 into the atmosphere. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. So this is the system, the whole process. The biochar fuel plant will use a carbonization of machine called Rox 6E, which will continuously recycle CO as an energy source
for the pyrolysis process. The plant will produce biochar bricks from local produced waste biomass collected year-round by hired villagers, and the biochar can be sold in several markets, especially in the supermarket. You can use for barbecues. You can use it for water filtration. You can use it for several medical treatments as well. Next, please. So this is the whole process, how it is done. Special design reactor, 5 meter cubic, and control 1,500 forests and agricultural biomass. Nowhere, no tier, no moving parts which can be dumped into the machine. Rock solid mechanics with a high degree of automation. Digital SCM and traceable technology block in. So this is the way how we process this. We're gonna for a system like this, you're gonna need the size of a football field where the plant will be built, and then all the waste can be dumped into the site for processing of biochar. Next, please. We achieve a biochar quality for about 98% pure carbon. Our process is approved by legal authorities to store at CO2, and also this can benefit whoever owns the plant, because you are able to be issued with a carbon certificate, and this can be transformed into real cash in exchange. The bioproduct can be used also as fertilizer for the soil, can be used for medical treatments, can be used for in the steel industry. It can be used for several other benefits. Also, biochar refinery, you can also use it for treatment of diarrhea. Can be used for treatment of many other illnesses. So it's very useful, and we think it's an opportunity for Africa to introduce this type of technology. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. And giving the advantage of bringing this technology in Africa is because there is no other that I'm aware of that it's already working in Africa. And this gives us an opportunity of being the pioneers in Africa of the technology and bringing benefits for the population of Africa, and also in the meantime creating jobs, because this type of technology goes into the rural area. It gives jobs opportunity for the people, the youth. There's so many young people unemployed, and this can create a job because we can employ them by going around and cutting the unwanted indigenous plants and the grasses and collecting the sugar ends and several other vegetable like pineapple ends, and can be brought into the plant and sell it, then improving their lives as well. Next, please. As I've said, application, as you may see, medical application, environmental application, agricultural use, gas purification, chemical purification, and mercury scrubbing. Next, please. Next, please. Solar system. As I said already, we are not too much into the solar system currently. We do small projects such as homes and some shopping center. We are willing to more dedicate into the biomass and biochar. Next, please. Wind system, also we can do it. Our partner companies in Europe, they're involved in the wind technologies. So
we are also involved in it. If there's a need, we are in for the job. Thank you. Next, please. Biomass energy development, as I already said, my partners in Europe are ready to move it to any country in Africa to introduce this technology. Next. This is our team, myself, and then I've got Mr. Justice, and the gentleman on the right of Mr. Justice is my son, and then we have in Austria, Anton Augsburg, and then Andreas Timask from German. They are my partner companies. Thank you very much for the opportunity, and I hope I try my best. This is our context.
Thank you, Marcelino, for your presentation. Very informative and quite a new technology that we are looking at biochar. Let's move on to the next one, please. And I have the pleasure to invite Mr. Alban Brice Mongbo, the founder of BM Solutions. Alban, the floor is all yours. You've got 8 minutes. Marcelino, you can turn your camera and audio off, please. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear. Please go on.
Okay, my name is Dr. Alban Brice Mongbo. I'm a founder of BM Solutions. Next slide, please. So BM Solutions is founded in 2017, and we are operating in construction and energy in the Republic of Benin. Last year, in terms of revenue for solar water pumps, we have made more than $100 US. Our mission is to become a leading company in Benin in terms of the supply of installation of water solar pumps for productive use of energy by 2025. And our expansion plan is targeting the small farmer, and who are around 25,000 in Benin. So in the next 5 coming years, we are targeting to sell 2,500 units of solar pumps. Next slide, please. So what is the problem in Benin? We have in Benin a population around 12 million, and 50% of this population are operating in agriculture. 25% of GDP depend on agriculture. So agriculture represents the 80% of the exportation that Benin makes. And we have the horticulture and rice producer that are located in 3 main areas in our countries. Their activity requires a huge quantity of water on a daily basis. But currently they are using motor pumps to supply water to the crops. And those motor pumps consumption is around 2 liters per day, while currently the fuel cost is increasing in Benin. And sometimes those farmers are obliged to borrow money to buy fuel. Sometimes also they cannot supply water to crops, and these affect the productivity and the revenue. The motor pumps also require regular maintenance and can only last for 1 year maximum. So they have to have minimum 2 motor pumps. In case one is faulty, they have to replace it. Next slide, please. So our solution and product, we think about an alternative of this situation that we described previously to eliminate the fuel expense and also ensure a normal daily water to this farmer in order to help them to increase their revenue and to produce all the season. So our product and the solution is a solar surface pump, because currently the pumps that they are using are also a surface pump but powered by fuel. So we have to propose a solution that is the same design as per what they have currently. So we have a solar surface pump. These solar surface pumps are powered by solar panels. We supply the system with 2-year warranty on pumps, and 10-year warranty on solar panels. As I said, the surface pump are like the current pump. The only difference is that it's powered by solar panels. We can deliver with this solar surface pump, we can deliver the same rate of water to them, so they will have the same quantity of water that they require. The solution is removable as the one that they are using currently, because most of them cannot leave the pump on the farm because they don't live in the farms. So they have to remove it in the evening when they finish working. So the solution, the pumps can last up to 8 years, and it does not require any maintenance fees. Next slide, please. So what are the results and the feedback that we got? We increase with this solution, we increase the number of our customers by 25% every year from 2021. This implies that our company revenue also increased. And this solution is, for the farmer, it is a one-time investment in terms of cash or progressive payment. Here I need to explain that we offer them two ways of payment. They can pay us in cash, or they can pay progressively for 2 years. So this is a very good solution compared to the daily expense that they have to have in terms of fuel buying. It is also less stress for farmers because of absence of pump maintenance. Because when you have a fuel pumps that use fuel, for example, most of the time the pump gets damaged or faulty, and they have to repair it. They have to call for a mechanician to repair the pump. So it requires maintenance fees also for them. We have a revenue increase because those farmers will not only depend on fuel, so they can produce every time that they want, because we have a good season in Benin in terms of solar irradiation. So their revenue increase along with production because of the possibility to produce even in the dry season. We also increase the resilience of the family, because most of those farmers, the main activity is the horticulture or the rice production that they have. So the revenue of the family depend on what they are producing. So you can imagine that when we develop such a solution to help them to reduce the daily expense and to increase their production, we are also supporting them to increase the resilience of their family. Next slide, please. So our demand is for the manufacturer, because of the reality that we have. Our demand is to reduce the pump price so that we can increase the affordability for the farmer, because currently we have many farmers that are interested in our solution, but some of them cannot afford the solution because of the price. So we are obliged to try to help them to pay progressively, but we are also in business, so we cannot lose money. So if we come today to reduce the price, the purchase price of the pump, we can supply to more farmers. So we are open for any manufacturer that will be willing to do a partnership with us, so that we can supply here their products. We are also inviting the manufacturer to design a pay-go enabled product, because most of the products currently are not pay-go enabled. And regarding the capacity building. We would like that the solar company, local solar company, be empowered so that they can be able to raise funds easily, and also some financial possibility so that they can be able to increase their activity in the country. Next slide, please. So this is roughly about the solution and what we are doing in Benin. We are open to your question and also contribution and also partnership. Thank you.
Thank you, Alban, for your presentation. Let's move over quickly to the next speaker, which is the next speakers. This is a joint presentation. Last one, Aptech Africa, Laura and Ghirmay. The floor is all yours. Please stick to the time so that we can liberate some time for question answer. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Deepak, and hello, everybody. Thanks so much for the opportunity to speak here at the Innovation for Electrification webinar. Next slide, please. I would like to start by briefly introducing Aptech Africa. Aptech is an engineering, procurement, and construction company for solar energy and water pumping projects. We've been around for over 10 years, and we currently have offices and operate in 8 countries across the continent, including Uganda, South Sudan, DRC, Central African Republic, Sierra Leone, Liberia, Guinea, and Niger. We have over 115 employees across all offices, the majority of whom are engineers and technicians, and we're able to provide services of assessment, design, supply, installation, and project maintenance. Next slide, please. We have the mission to increase access to clean electricity and water for people across Africa. One of the things that we're most proud about is the impact that we've had over the years. We've provided access to water for over 1 million people through community scale water pumping projects, and we've provided access to electricity for over 2 million people. And this has been through both utility scale projects and hundreds of projects for institutions such as schools and hospitals across the continent. Next slide, please. So today, Aptech provides a variety of solar applications, including off-grid, grid-tied, and hybrid systems, mini-grids, energy storage solutions, and power and transmission and distribution. We also provide solar water pumping, irrigation, and water purification and distribution solutions. We do a whole range of sizes with customized solutions. We can do small residential systems, but we can also do utility scale. So in 2023, we commissioned a 26 megawatt peak solar plant in South Sudan, and that has been our largest project to date. Next slide, please. So today we're going to be sharing a little bit about some of the water projects that we've been doing in Somaliland. There are 3 different towns where we've commissioned water projects in 2023, and I want to first touch on the water challenges each of these sites were facing. So the first is Hargeisa. Hargeisa faces the challenge of water shortage because of its increasing population. Its water supply was not able to meet the growing demand for clean potable water, and of course this is critical shortcoming for the essential service delivery, and also it's affected access to water and local economic development. This called us to bring on the project for creating sustainable supply of adequate clean water for Hargeisa residents. The second town we looked at is Dilla. It's located in the western region of Somaliland. Dilla relies on agriculture and livestock keeping as its primary source of income generation. However, the town faces water shortages, particularly during dry months. And this adversely affects both the community and their livestock. The third town we've worked in is called Boroma. And Boroma has had a shortage of potable water supply due to the high-speed growth of its population and the rapid development of the town. The Boroma water supply depends on a groundwater supply from 3 aquifers. Current records show that the water table in these aquifers are steadily decreasing, and in the period of 3 to 5 years, there will not be any water available to supply the system. So I'm going to now hand it over to Aptech's Executive Chairperson, Engineer Ghirmay Abraham, and he's going to walk us through some of the technical details of the project.
Thanks, Laura, for the introduction. Let me take the part of technical presentation for the projects. The project in Hargeisa increased water production from Lasdar Aquifer and connected it to the existing system at the new pumping station. This delivers an additional 4 million liters of clean drinking water each day to the people of Hargeisa. Aptech successfully installed and commissioned an electromechanical system which is composed of 3 boreholes which have 3 solar water pumps installed. The wells supply water to the new pump station. The project has a hybrid system where the primary source of power is PV system, while the diesel generator can be used as load shedding. Let's go to the Dila town. In Dila town, the project aimed to increase water storage capacity in the valley dams, enabling the collection and retention of water during the wet period for use during the dry season. Additionally, the project includes the installation of an overhead water tank at each site. This ensures the collected water is stored and can be distributed effectively to the community. The project is delivering 5 million liters of clean drinking water each day, benefiting both the people of Dila and their livestock. To achieve this, Aptech has successfully installed and commissioned this electromechanical system, which is composed of shallow wells known as filter tanks, as well as solar water pumps. The project has also a hybrid system where the primary source of power is PV system, while the diesel generator can be used during the load shedding as previous project. In Boroma, water supply projects were implemented to alleviate the prevailing unsatisfactory water supply situation at the town, which is an important service for one of the most water deficit areas of Eastern and Western region. The project is based on a groundwater source, specifically from 3 deep wells in a Fraga well field with a maximum discharge of 60 m³ an hour each pump. The conveyance system starts from Afraga to Al Hayat through Sareka store station. It distributes water to Boroma town as well as to the nearby residents. Aptech also successfully installed and commissioned the electromechanical system, which is composed of 3 borehole pump station and a 1,000 m³ reservoir, which is equivalent to 1 million liters. The generators that power the 2 surface pumps through a step up and step down transformers, which Aptech has successfully also installed the transmission line from the source of energy to the water pumps. Thank you so much. Continue, Laura.
Thanks, Ghirmay. Next slide, please. So when we look at impact beyond the number of beneficiaries for this project, the site work in Hargeisa has really helped to bridge the gap between the demand and the supply of water, providing a much needed solution to the water scarcity issue in the city. This completed project has improved access to clean and potable water for the residents of Hargeisa, ensuring better living conditions and promoting local economic development. It's also an important step towards achieving a sustainable and reliable water supply system for the city's growing population. The Dila Dam project is working to alleviate the water scarcity issues faced by the community of Dila, providing them with a reliable source of clean drinking water. And moreover, by addressing the water needs of the livestock, the project is contributing to the sustainability and improvement of agriculture and livestock keeping practices in the area. The Boroma project is also contributing to alleviate the potential water shortage for the town of Boroma. Last slide, please. Thank you so much for allowing us to share about these projects. You'll find our contact information here in case you'd like to learn more about the work that Aptech Africa is doing. Thanks so much, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you both, Laura and Ghirmay, for your presentation. So let me then invite all the panelists to turn your cameras on. We will, just looking at the time, don't have much time for the question and answers, but dear audience, please please be informed that all your questions will be sent to all the speakers so that they can also bilaterally respond to your questions via email. So without further ado, let me then ask questions that you have raised. The first question is to Nadja. Nadja, you have mentioned SDG 6 and 7. What efforts are being made to supply solar devices and technologies to remote communities in sub-Saharan Africa, as most communities in this region lack access to these facilities? Well, I assume, if I may take the advantage of answering this question on your behalf, there will be OEC Off-Grid Expo and conferences and activity which brings along these sector stakeholders along with their solutions and expertise to one place. So basically, during these exhibitions and conferences, all these problems are being tackled with, and we are discussing multiple ways of how these solutions can then come see the light of the day. So if you are more interested, please take part in the activity and you will find more answers to your questions regarding that. Nadja, would you like to add a couple of points on this?
Yeah, I want just to add that we give the platform actually for this meeting point to exchange about this. On the one side, the technical solutions, on the other side, the need in the projects for such solutions. And what is this network platform we offer in face-to-face meeting actually? So yes. That's what I wanted to add to the conference and to Expo in the same side. Yeah.
Perfect. Thanks, Nadja. Let's move over to Diane. Diane, there's a question for you. Why did you not include the nanogrid and mesh grid concept in your approach, which has already proven itself in various forms on the market?
Thank you very much for the question, a very valid one. Just to mention, when you read the report, we talk about, we mention other solutions, but technologies, but again, the idea here was to focus on mini-grid and other technologies, SHS, SBS, and mostly a few others. But again, the idea at the end is really as an industry to work together to add ideas like the one that was shared in this question, mesh grid and other solutions. So this is not a closed paper. It's really just to open the floor to more work as an industry and also taking it in account other technologies as you just mentioned. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Diane. Let's move to Chris. Chris, there's a question for you. Why is most of the off-grid appliances presented during your presentation today are not available in many African countries, even though the appliances are more required in such countries? What's your take on this?
Sure. Thanks for the question. I think the assumption I'm going to make is that the question is talking about applications, so mini-grids and the technology behind it. So I think there are two blockers for mini-grid adoption and implementation in Africa. The first is obviously access to capital finance, which was mentioned by Diane, and the reason why they're exploring alternative business models to take the capital expense out of it and to spread it across many years of use and savings to pay off for a longer term. And the second is in terms of technical capacity to deliver such technical projects. These sorts of skills are somewhat scarce in more developed markets, and these markets where they're really required are quite undeveloped markets from a technological perspective. So it's quite challenging to deliver these projects for this reason as well.
Yeah, thank you. Also, sorry for this rush, people, because I need to ask one question at least to all the speakers. There's a question for Marco. Marco, there's indeed a potential market for the solar-powered irrigation systems in Africa, especially in Nigeria, with little awareness and marketing of the products in the region. How can these products be easily supplied and distributed to Nigeria, please?
Oh, actually, that's a good question. We've been really active in the region of Nigeria. So the CEO of the company has been visiting recently 2 weeks Nigeria and has already made lots of contacts. So we are now settling lots of commercial agreements here to supply these kind of solutions, so pay-as-you-go and non-pay-as-you-go solutions, water pumping solution, as well as solutions for productive use. So basically, there are hubs. So please get in touch with us if you need some contact point, or if you want to be one of the contact points.
Thank you, Marco, for your crisp answer. There's also a question for Swaleh. Swaleh, people would like to get in touch with you. What's the best way forward, please?
You can always get me on email, BDM at, that's Business Development Manager, short form, BDM at GadgetroniX.net. GadgetroniX has an X at the end instead of CS. .net. So BDM at GadgetroniX.net. I'm always available on call on WhatsApp at +255 677 007 111.
Okay, I have shared this in the chat so that all the audience can get to see it. Perfect, thanks. Moving on to the next question, which is for Alban. Alban, who supplies financing to the farmers for solar pumping systems? As you have mentioned, the payment model of rates within 2 years.
Please come again.
There's a question for you, which is who supplies financing to the farmers for solar pumping systems? As you have mentioned, the payment model of rates within 2 years.
Okay, they are supported by microfinance institution in the country. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for your crisp answer. Last question is to Laura and Ghirmay. Impressive presentation, so nice, kudos. Where does the funding for your projects mostly come from, please?
So there's a couple customer segments that Aptech works with. We do projects with individuals and commercial industrial clients, but a bulk of our work is with multilaterals, UN agencies, and NGOs. The projects that are really large scale and serving a community are going to be funded usually by a UN agency or an NGO.
Okay, thank you. Dear audience, the remaining time allowed me to take only one question per speaker, so please bear with us that I will be sharing all the questions that you have asked to all our panelists so that they can reach out to you bilaterally and answer your calls. Can we move over to the next slide, please? And we are almost at the end of the webinar. Yes, that's myself. And well, I'm very thrilled and happy for the fact that we discussed this very pivotal topic today on powering industries combined with productive use of renewable energy in the DRE sector. All the experts, thank you so much for sharing your inputs and valuable solutions that you have had been showcasing in the market so far. I'm pretty sure that our audience today has enlightened their knowledge and would like to be in touch with you. Dear audience, the slides and the recording of the webinar will be shared on our website, so please stay tuned, and we will see you in the next webinar. Before I close, I would like to very quickly tease about our upcoming ARE Energy Access Investment Forum that is going to be happening in Lagos, Nigeria on 21st to 23rd of May, 2024. So those of you who haven't had the chance to take a look, please get in touch with us. There are multiple engagement opportunities, and this is the biggest industry and finance event organized in the DRE sector by ARE. So please do not miss your chance to be part of it. Thank you. And the last slide will take you to the date of the next I4E Showcase webinar, which is 25th of April. Until then, I wish you all a very nice rest of the day. Take care, stay healthy, and see you next time. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.